Dear student, my name is Vidhi and today we are going to read the first chapter of your book First Flight. Name of chapter is A Letter to God written by G.L. Fuentes. Before you read, they say faith can move mountains, but what should we put our faith in? This is the question this story delicately poses. Lancho is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are ruined, asking for 100 pesos. So, pesos is the name of a currency, especially in Latin American countries. Does Lancho's letter reach God? Does God send him money? Uh, think what your answers to these questions would be and guess how the story continues before you begin to read it. So these are the activity which is regarding how to post money order and what are the parts of money order. These are the activities. You have to go to post office and ask about how to post the money order. So let's read the main chapter. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on. दोबारा बोलूं हाँ ये वाला हाँ The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. From his height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn, dotted with the flowers that always promised a good harvest. So here, crest meaning the top of a hill. The only thing the earth needed was the downpour or at least a shower. Throughout the morning, Lancho, who knew his fields intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. Now we are really going to get some water, woman. The woman who was preparing supper replied, Yes, God willing. The older boy the older boys were working in the field while the smaller ones were playing near the house until the woman called to them all, Come for dinner. It was during the meal time. Just as Lancho had predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. And when he returned, he exclaimed, These aren't raindrops falling from the sky. They are the new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces and the little ones are 5. With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers, draped in a curtain of rain. So, draped means covered with clothes. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow and move along the rain. Very large hailstones began to fall, and these truly did resemble new silver coins. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. It's really getting bad now, exclaimed the man. I hope it passes quickly. It didn't pass quickly. For an hour the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. The field was white, as if covered with salt. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lancho's soul was filled with sadness. And when the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, A plague of locusts would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing. This year we will have no corn. Here, locust means the insect which flies in a big swarms, group or destroy crops. That night was a sorrowful one. All our work for nothing. There is no one who can help us. We will all go hungry this year. So these are the oral comprehension questions you have to do in your notebook. Let's read first question. What did the Lancho hope for? Why did Lancho say the raindrops were like new coins? Third one, how did the rain change? And what happened to Lancho's fields? Fourth question is, what were Lancho's feeling when the hail stopped? But in the heart of all who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope, help from God. Don't be so upset, even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. That's what they say, no one dies of hunger. All through the night, Lancho thought only of this one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. So, conscience means an inner sense of right and wrong. Lencho was an ox of man, working like an animal in the field, but still he knew how to write. The following Sunday at daybreak, he began to write a letter, which he himself would carry to town and place in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes because the hailstorm. Peso currency of several Latin American countries. He wrote to God on the envelope and put the letter inside and still troubled. Went to the town and at the post office he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. One of the employees who was a postman and also helped at the post office went to the boss and laughing heartedly and showed him the letter to God. Never in his career as a postman had known that address. The postmaster, a fat, amiable means friendly and pleasant person fellow. So the postmaster was a pleasant, amiable fellow, also broke out laughing, but almost immediately he turned serious and tapping the letter on his desk and commented, what faith! I wish I had the faith of man who wrote this letter, starting up correspondence with God. So, in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea and answered the letter. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than goodwill, ink, and paper. But he stuck to his resolution. He asked for money from employees. He himself gave part of his salary, and several friends of this were obliged to give something for an act of charity. It was impossible for him to gather the 100 pesos, so he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lancho and with it a letter containing only a single word as a signature gold. So these are the oral comprehension check questions. Who and what did Lancho have faith in and what did he do? Who read the letter and what did the postmaster do then? The following Sunday, Lancho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, looked on from his office. So, contentment means satisfaction. Lancha showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. Such was his confidence. But he became angry when he counted the money. God could not have made a mistake, nor could he have denied Lancho what he had requested. Immediately, Lancho went up to window to ask for the paper and ink. On the public writing table, he started to write with much wrinkling on of his brow, caused by the efforts he had to make to express his ideas. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp which he licked and then affixed to the envelope with a blow of his fist. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it. It said, God, of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest. since I need it very much. But don't send it to me through the mail because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Lancho. Comprehension check. Was Lancho surprised to find a letter for him with money in it? What made him angry? So, dear students, you have to read this chapter first and then you have to try to answer all these questions and write in your fear. कोई बात नहीं है तो रहने दो. Write in your fear notebook. Thanks.